you doing? Let's do some MSQ with Shale. If you have a moment, yo, Geode wants to take stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking the finer details in certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the conversation. Sorry to drag you into our meeting, but we need to get a better handle of the threats Alexandria is facing right now. Not at all. Much has happened since the state funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial to us as well. First things first then, let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to controls. And while these malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and deaths. But you haven't heard anything about the new incidents since then, right? Right. No additional reports have been logged as far as I know. That's the good news. The bad news is, I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, and they wouldn't listen to me, even though I have the king's authority. Once things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their weapons, but if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. The king's resolves authority is about the highest there is. Who is the man that can override it with such impunity? Kylax. He lived in the age of the storm surge as I did. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancements in electrotechnology, and it was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease which afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He must have chosen to undergo conversion into an endless, that he might continue his efforts into the present day. Preservation's early goal seems noble enough. Exploring treatments for live-in sickness, designing Everkeep's core system, that sort of thing. Why harm the people he was ostensibly trying to help? Excuse me. I do not pretend to fully understand Kalak's motivations, and only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. He asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through generational succession was outdated, that evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. We've already seen how he's employed this stimulant to convince Alexandria's that endless conversion is the only hope for survival. Eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who registered their neo-regulators. but this is merely one part of Kylax's greater plan. He wants the key to interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw aether from the reflections and expand his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. If we mean to foil Silax's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down, which unfortunately is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminal we found in the depths of Everkeep, but I failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Give me a little more time though, and I'm sure I can sniff him out. I'll help you. While Gulja and Shale are working on that, I think I'm gonna take a look down around town. I want to make sure no new problems have cropped up, as well as search for any information that might lead us to Silax. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have some brawlers at my back. Count me in. Raha and the others are helping Oblivion Patrol and the others of the keep. So shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? Sounds like a plan. The two of you. Thank you too. I appreciate the company. I have to speak with the city's administrator about bringing in the Lance Guard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving to Turliolo. Alphonode and Alze will be joining me for the meeting, so the three of us can cover that sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join Yo's group if you'll have me. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thank you. I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm more worried about you, Geode. Don't do anything stupid. You'll change your tune once we get back with the goods on Kylax. Then the drinks are on you. Come on, let's continue this outside. I wish I could grow up faster. There'll be so much more I can do when I'm bigger like you. Good luck with your patrol, and take your time. We can do without Geode until you're done with that old sod. Ah, sorry. Just when I think I've internalized better manners, talking with Geode brings back the old bad habits. Huh. The city looks as though it's reigned a sense of normalcy. Alas, the people will not soon forget recent events. I will do my utmost to ensure the happiness of Alexandria and its people. Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Shall we get started? Are you alright, Geode? Me? I'm well enough given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from the horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. Then, the moment mortality once again becomes an unavoidable fact of life, they're greeted with the outbreak of a bloody violence. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that. It is only natural that such thoughts should come to mind. What I cannot forgive is the way Kylax wields fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. No one, not Kylax, nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the specter of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put those choices for this country's future back into the hands of its citizens. And you think we can handle that responsibility? After everything you've seen of us? Is that what I've seen that... It's what I've seen that's convinced me that you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it, so you all deserve to be happy. Well then, we'd best not let you down. Now I suggest we move as a group. We don't know when and if or when a battle might find us. Oh, I believe someone came prepared or just such an eventuality. Is that a grimoire you retrieved from the old castle? Yes, my parents gifted it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, so I lay claim to some small measure of skill. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. It would certainly be more efficient for information gathering. I guess that makes sense. The 2 of you can take the west side of the recreation zone, then Yo and I will take the rest. Take the east, sorry. Very well. We shall end our patrol in the plaza just past True View and await you there. Let's do the rounds then. We'll see what's what and chat to people we meet along the way. Pay special attention to anyone who looks overwhelmed or overly excited. Hopefully that'll earn us a tidbit or 2 we didn't know before. I'm guessing you prefer to go with Sphene or Kryle, but I'm afraid you're stuck with me. I grow on people though, I promise. What the fuck? Hey. Got it. Yeah. Ah, the memories. I used to drink around here all the time. I made sure not to do it when I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies weren't amenable to my company, well, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning or afternoon. The worst I ever got was on what should have been the worst day of my life. If only I could remember it. It was I was still wearing a regulator back then. It was also the day I first met Shell, although I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. Huh. Geode has a mystery to him, okay. Are the sentries and air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again, and maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a neo-regulator. Becoming endless is the only way. Even Queen's Fiend said so. You want to hear my story? Well, I appreciate you offering a sympathetic ear. There's not much to tell. You must know, a good friend of mine died when those machines went crazy. His air wheeler dropped right out of the sky and he didn't survive the crash. Damn fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know that's not so strange these days, but he never bothered with one. He was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant until it happened. What has me in such a fine mood, you ask? Well, I've registered my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through the registration, I've never felt more at ease. Also, once it's done, the regulator displayed the current numbers of the 5,000 slots available. Over 3,800 have already been filled. So if you're still hesitant, you've not much time to make up your mind. Mark my words, friend, when there's only a few slots left, it's gonna get very, very ugly. Yo, a word? I feel like there's a new factor in these stories we've heard. There was a new factor in these stories we've heard, one we hadn't considered during our discussion with everyone in the back room. The fights are likely to break out. The fact that nearly 4,000 people have registered is worthy of its own report, but are you sure there wasn't something else? Okay, sure. Yes, that's it. The vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not a detail we normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into casualties from the recent accident and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's ask around on the street over into the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we'd find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm if it was a pattern or not. It was once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The little ones who jumped for joy when I brought them packages. The old lady who'd always greet me with a smile. I'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. Hello, how are you today? Please let me know if I may be of service. Citywide casualty data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. Can you narrow it down to the recreation zone then? You must have some estimates on hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured 87 individuals. Casualties 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with regulators 0. Ooh. Dude's literally getting rid of the outside factors of his experiment. That's fucked up. Alright. Yo, you wish to know if the people who died in the machine rampage were wearing regulators? I'm sorry, but I was assigned to clearing away debris. I didn't see anything of the deceased. No bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assumed the ushers had already done their work. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered about that were quite a chore to clean up, but nothing else worthy of mention. Yo, I think it's time we joined Kyle and Sveen. I was half joking with my boasted shell, but we may have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiry. Didn't Kyle say to meet them at the plaza outside of True View? Let's get going. We finished our patrol as well. Did it not seem that more people wanted neo-regulators than before? 2-6. Okay, sorry about that. Forgot to take my meds. So essentially, you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators? Well, the numbers are still tentative and only apply to that one zone. We don't know how they'll stack up against the overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed their regulator was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Based solely on the lack of a neo-regulator, we cannot judge if a person has no desire to become endless, or if they simply failed to acquire one of the limited devices. But those who wear no regulator at all, they have clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put it another way, they have chosen to live their lives in the knowledge that death is an inevitability. The chances that such resolute people would wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. And so, Kylax has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. But there was no need to kill anyone. With the way things were, the people were already fearful enough. You could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. You make a good point. Perhaps the sowing of terror is in service to another scheme, or he has some other need for the lives he's taken. What about the dust? Right, the sanitation worker's story. She saw no bodies, but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, but no bodies. Now where have I heard that before? Do you recall when we went to save Erenville from the sentries in the outskirts? That usher, Malonite, told us much of the same thing. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of white dust, which the wind quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none saw what became of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of this dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if the substance was present at the other sites and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to the explanation of missing bodies, but also the intent behind Kylax's murderous actions. Yo, we need your help. I've lost control of the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? Damn it, our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go. That's creepy as hell.
Stay back! Stay away from me!
Leave him alone!
Are you all right?
What happened here?
A sentry walked into my apartment, even though I'd locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Go to them, quickly!
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape. Mother! Mother, please!
Isadora! Thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
Thank you, miss. Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
Okay. She should recover in due course. I'm glad we arrived when we did. When I was sick and couldn't move, my mother was always by my side, always keeping me company, and I'm going to do the same for her. Forgive me, I was reckless. You shouldn't have had to waste time tending to my wounds as well. Did you see our comrade back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard the sounds of fighting. I am sorry, he must have fallen protecting the residents. For their sakes, I have to remain calm. Okay. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he is wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please. It isn't safe and you still need rest, would you stay with Milos and watch over Isadora for me? We will tend to your friend. I thank you. Please be careful yourself. Isadora and Milos had completed their applications to leave the dome and were practically out the door when all this happened. We'll make sure they're taken care of the moment Isadora is ready to travel. Why? Why is this happening? That man, this is awful. Isadora is going to be alright then. I'm so glad. I've just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That sentry went behaving normally, like any other. Then all of a sudden it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Kylax commanded them to commit murder. Is it over? We came as soon as Wakawa sent word. I am sorry. By the time we arrived, it was already too late. Then Geode would be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? Possibly. We're not sure what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector, though, at least until we regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geode. I agree. Since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our attack theory holds true, then they could be prime targets for the next attack. Please, do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. We've made modifications to them to prevent Kylax from intercepting the signal, and have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Yakawe has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck and stay safe. Geode said he would sweep the surrounding area, so he shouldn't have ventured too far. Let's get going. I hope your friend finds Geode soon. I know he's probably saving people with one hand and fighting off threats with the other, but I can't help but worry. Pray thank your Malala friend for me. I would still be a helpless mess if not for her encouragement. leave matters here to us. We'll see that our fallen comrade makes sure no one else comes to harm. Please, Geode, please be safe. You see no sign of Geode. Perhaps you should search further east. You see no signs of Geode. Wakanda's voice crackles forth from the communicator. Geode! Geode, answer me! There is no response. Perhaps you should continue your search further to the east. Okay. The only one doing MSQ, I guess. What a surprise! It's an MMO. I shouldn't be surprised. That's a cool wolf clam. Holy shit! You see no sign of Geode. The neighboring residential radius would be the next logical place to look.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please!
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive! Thank the gods! Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join it.
Holy shit.
That dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells.
Soul cells.
Shit.
No, Final Fantasy, you keep doing this to me.
You can't be here! You need to run, now!
Aw, you little shit.
A trap! Take care of the others, eh?
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe? Geode!
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
How would I?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now? I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promise to halt my harvest?
You would only seek out other victims.
It was foolish of me to even ask. I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
I can't. There are no words. This pile of dust, these ashes, and the soul cell he left behind, was that his twisted way of returning Geode to us? Damn you, Silax. Damn you and your careless cruelty. He was our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it means 5,000 endless could continue their immortal lives. And if a reflection stolen ether allowed for many more endless, why, that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? Not I. Certainly not I. We know only too well there's not noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop him. We have to find Silax and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. And under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession. Yo. If it falls to us, we will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocents and reflections elsewhere. I will hold on to Geode's gun. If you could take the soul cell, please. We should return to the back room. Shell and the others need to know what happened. Yes, I will ask Wakawe to meet us there as well.
Our dear Geode. The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gululja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy? Living our lives. What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him. Wait, where are you going? To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure Nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Thank you.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
I am told that the members tasked with keeping residents safe during returned with the body of their comrade. They all risked so much. We made a swift patrol of the other levels and confirmed that Kylax had carried out a number of targeted attacks, all to harvest more ether, it seems. Fair enough. I got back control of the sentries, probably around the same time Silax left. I'm so sorry I couldn't stop them. Order them out of the city, you crazy little reptile, you. I've spoken with Wook Lamont. They've cut their meeting short to deal with the aftermath of the latest violence. I assume you know better by now, but I hope you're not planning to try anything alone. We are all here with you. Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode he was an older brother to Nostalgia and me. Shell knew him longer, though, and is surely taking it the hardest, and that's on top of what's happened with Kachia. Do you think you could go check on her, see how she's doing? She's like to put on a braver face if it's for my sister. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on with the hunt for Kylax, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. Need time to work through it. You're right, I ought to heed my own words. As it stands, I'm of no use to anyone. Calcia used to say the best thing to do with grief was let it all out. So, I think I'll take myself over to Earth and Sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you've a shoulder to spare. Right then. Let's get out of Everkeep for a bit. Okay. That's an hour. I'm gonna call it here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, y'all. Peace.